Apostolic Finance. Thank you. Okay, give me some. I will be your hostess, P. Lenny, my assistant, Vanna Mae, who will be wiping down the microphone every time somebody speaks. Tonight I have, first of all, give it up for the beautiful, awesome job the men did last night. Come on, Dr. Dre, Brian, Kenny the Insane Williams, and HG. Man, we had a good time last night. Such an amazing time that we're going to come with the remix. And so I have some amazing young ladies.
Yes.
You are going to be blessed.
Yes, Lord.
Sit back, take notes, have your questions, and we're not even going to drag it out. I'm going to MC from my chair today, but my wipe me down is going to make sure that I get the microphone and introduce everyone.
Right.
So without further ado,
Right.
coming to the stage, this one right here makes enough money to pay everybody's. And what she has done for her husband, you would never know. He is a phenomenal man, and he looks like he has it all together, but it's because of this young lady right here, and it's her testimony. So please, please, please help me introduce. This is my sister, one of my students, one of my light and brights from my training for service class, Miss Danielle Bell. Come on, give it up, give it up, give it up.
I love that. Good evening, everyone. I stand before you to let you know that, yes, I am the wife of Brian Bell and a mom of 3, but that doesn't define who I am. And as an individual, man, woman, child, you need to understand that your experiences bring you to where you're at. What that means is that when it comes down to what I make or what Brian makes or any of you what you make, you are God's child. You are wealthy no matter what you bring in at this point in time. And so I go back to the story of Brian last night where he had talked about he was basically drowning and I was running into the water to try to save him. Money had nothing to do with that moment. Nothing to do with that moment. What it comes down to, guys, is that in your vows you talk about respect. And when it comes down to respect, respect has to be in the finances. And the reason why I say that is we hear that most people get divorces because of finances. I somewhat disagree. I think the reason why people do get divorces is finances is a contributing factor, but it's due to your respect on money and the person that brings it in. That is what it comes down to. Why? I grew up with a mother who made fairly good money, single mom of 3. She spent a lot of money because she liked spending money. And for me personally growing up, it was scary because sometimes we had it, sometimes we didn't. So my thing was growing up is I want to save. I want to save. Brian grew up in a different manner. Brian didn't grow up with some of the essentials that I grew up. So when it comes to finances, he's just like, if you have it, you only have one life to live. Let's spend it. When it comes down to our conversations about finances, we respect our childhoods and where we came from, and then have the conversation. And I believe that is the difference in having a great, productive, fruitful marriage. because you're not respecting the money, you're respecting the person behind what they're doing. You're believing behind what they're putting their efforts for. And it goes without saying that during that time when Brian was out there and Trey was out there in the water and I was running out there, you guys, I can't tell you how fearful you become. Knowing that I'm here and you're literally 10 feet away, you can't do anything. But all you can do is call on the name of Jesus. And by the time I got to him, he was able to stand. And I am telling you guys, I love my kids, but I wouldn't be where I'm at without my husband. He has been a contributing factor in telling me everything that I am when I didn't believe it, when I truly didn't believe it, when the people at my job were showing me and telling me that I wasn't. He was the one who was in my ear all the time, and it was reciprocal when it came down to Walmart. When it comes down to my husband, I think he is all that, and I know that he's all that. Yeah. And when it came to Walmart, coming and telling them, it was just like, no, you are the father of our children. You are the man that I prayed for. You know, you are the provider that I know that you can be and continue to be. And despite what Walmart is telling you and acting towards you, when you come home, you're a hero. And he's been a hero since the day that we've met when I was 16 in high school. As you know, I grew up in a home where it was basically daily, where I was set down and told everything I wasn't, until I cried, and then I was dismissed. My angel at that time was my husband. He was the one who was telling me everything that I can be, everything you can be, and you cannot listen to the voices around you that tell you. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to tell you that you are not your current circumstance. You are not your past circumstance. These things that happen to you, you have respect for it because it wouldn't have made you who you are today. And as much as I have room for improvement, and I know I can be better at some aspects of life, I know that if I have my husband and I have my God, that I can do all things. All things. And the thing about it is that it comes down to the respect of your spouse. When it comes down to the traumas, to the hurts, to the pains, you have to watch how you're saying it and what you're saying. Stupid is a trigger word for me. Whenever I hear that, I get anxious, I get hot, I get anxiety, because that's what I was called. Multiple times, all the time. And the thing about it is that Brian and I have learned how to communicate with each other, where it's just like, I'm being sensitive towards what's going on with you, because in an instant, trauma can happen at any point in time, guys. In an instant, someone can say something, a smell, a thought, an action is something that scares you. My oldest son turned 13 this past Sunday, and that day was the hardest day for me. And why was it the hardest day? Is at 13 is the day that I decided that I wanted to commit suicide in my familyhood. Yeah. That was trauma from my mom and dad divorcing, from being told everything I wasn't every day, and trying to fight and believe that I was supposed to be here on earth. The story is that a young man 2 doors down from me took my same suicide note, story, and everything, hung himself in the closet. His siblings found him, and what I heard outside were screams of the siblings crying out for their brother that had just passed away by him hanging himself in this closet. Exactly what I was going to do, down to the note. And it's hard some days to look at myself and not think that my value doesn't come from productivity, from what I do, from the money that I bring in, for how my kids are doing. But I'm here to tell you guys that your value is so much more than what you do on your day-to-day life. It is what God has provided you, what you have in your life, whether it's a spouse or not, whether it's siblings, whether it's 1, 2, 3 friends, whatever the case may be. You have to understand that there's value in those people, and you have to respect how you communicate with them. And that has been the number one thing in our relationship. And that is I don't look at myself for the money that I bring in. Yes, it's nice, and I thank God for it, because Brian and I have talked that into existence. But the thing about it is that I wouldn't be who I am without him, and he's still the head of our household. He still helps us make decisions. I respect who he is as an individual, not just my husband. And I think that's where we get caught up in marriage. You're saying, this person is my spouse, so I know them. It's been 25 years, so this is what we do. For me and for us growing up together, that's changed. We've been married 16 years. At year 7, it was different. Conversations were different about money. At year 16, conversations about money is different. Our goals and our investments are different. But the thing about it is that I've chosen to respect the person that he is and the man of God that he is. So when it comes down to conversations, I know that he has my best interest at heart. He wants to hear my opinion. Guys, I didn't grow up with anyone wanting to hear my opinion. As you all know, I am pretty closed off, because that's what I had to do. I had to isolate myself, and I just observe. Because if I said anything, everything was the wrong thing. But to know I have an environment where my husband allows me to say what I need to say, get it out there, let's work through it, means that when it comes down to money, he can have whatever he wants. I want him to have whatever he wants. I love that he has a bike. I love that we have bikes together. I love that he has his vehicle. And I want to contribute to that, because you guys, you don't always see, you see the material things, but you don't see the intangible things that come with a marriage, the intangible things that come with a relationship with God. You only get a reflection of it by what we purchase and by what we take pictures of. But the thing is that the intangible respect that comes with my thoughts, the respect that comes with our conversations, the respect that comes with just me being hurt and in a traumatic situation at that point in time, helps you learn to love and trust someone. And it starts with you. And you have to give that to yourself. So many of us women are so willing to give to everyone else, and you are the last person to give to yourself. Right. So I challenge you, the respect that you give your grandkids, the respect that you give some people at your work, are you giving that to your spouse? Are you giving that to yourself? So many of us have different relationships with different people in our lives, but one thing I have learned and I always stand by is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So it doesn't matter where they are or who they are in your life. Life can be cyclical. They could come back around and bless you. As far as I'm concerned, the wealth is stayed up for the wicked. Is stored up for the righteous. So the thing is that whatever is happening, you guys know that God is your provider. Know that the respect that you give yourself and others is a huge reflection on what you see in marriage. And a lot of those things are intangible. I can't tell you. I can tell you to some extent, but it doesn't show unless you feel the love between us. And as parents, you need to make sure that you're showing that to your children on a day-to-day basis when it comes to your relationship with others as well. The one thing that I have a struggle with in my relationship with God is my grandma was so religious. I mean, everyone in her city knew her up and down for who she was, for writing books, for respect, for everything. But yet that woman would again, sit me down and tell me everything I wasn't until I cried. So the person that everyone got to see is not the person you are behind closed doors. If you are not this person behind closed doors, you need to really evaluate yourself, because your children will not respect you. Your children will have something to say about you and your God. Your children will be confused. And that's the thing. Our relationship, we show the love between each other the same way that I want to show love to Pastor Linda, to Lana, to Cyrus. That is the thing. If you're not showing it to your spouse at home the same way you're doing it here in church, you have a problem. And your kids will resent you. And your kids will not tell you until they're old enough to understand. Now you just confused them on why there was conditional love when you said you had unconditional love. That is what it comes down to. So my choice is, I'm going to show unconditional love to my family. I'm going to show unconditional love to my husband. And I want to show it all to you guys. Don't get me wrong now. I am a human being. Things happen. And I sometimes in my own being don't understand. I don't get it. And I will not be able to explain it away. But the one thing that I do know is that the love after a day of work is going to be there. I may not receive it as well today as I did yesterday, but it's going to be there. And that's what your kids, and that's what you deserve. You deserve nothing less. So when you get out in that water and you feel like you're drowning and you look up, you better make sure that God is right there with you, looking at you, telling you, you got this. I'm with you. At any point in time, you are not drowning. God is with you. That's all I have to say. Thanks. Oh, gosh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Give it to me before you wipe it down. Come on, y'all. Y'all hear that? Y'all better put some respect on what she just said. Man. Woo. My finances have been disrespected for so long. That's my problem. You have to respect your finances. And I appreciate you saying that, because we do. We have a tendency to love other people more than we love ourselves and our spouse and even our kids. And I'm like, wow, I had to take note of that. Thank you so much for that, Danielle. Give it up one more time for Jay. Beautiful, beautiful. It's the reason why Brian could not die in that water. He had to get to that. He said, oh, I'm going to be all right, Lord. He said he took it all that water. All right. Coming to the stage, y'all. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a boss, and she is my baby. She belongs to Kenneth Williams, so y'all need to be praying daily for that. But I thank God for the testimony of how she has had to go from being Miss Trajan, royalty's baby girl, to handling finances with two of her own, y'all. She's got something to say, and we cannot wait to hear it. Give it up for my baby, Trajan.
Woo! There she is. Oh, well, thank you. Let me set my timer. One sec. You good? Just in case. We starting now. Hi, guys. You guys, I really do not like being in front of people. Like, I love talking to people individually, but I'm the most nervous person ever. Whew. Okay. So I just wanted to applaud my husband that did an amazing job yesterday. Well, all the men did, but...
Yeah, kick him out. That's your husband. That's your husband, girl.
They all did great, but yeah, I just had to say that, you guys, because he just, he never ceases to amaze. Like, his progression is just admirable. Like, he's super smart and intelligent. And he has a way with words, but I just love watching him grow. So, yeah, you guys. It's been a journey for us getting married extremely young. I was 19, and Kenny was 21. So, like when Jay was saying, the conversation is different when you first get married versus now, and when you're 16 years in marriage, I definitely can attest to that. I love the analogy that my husband used when he was talking about the waves of life and having to roll with the waves of life. That has been one of the biggest things for me. I definitely feel like God is putting me in a situation where I'm having to grow. Yeah. And it's extremely uncomfortable, you guys. What I'm going to talk about is the process of us building the home, and what it took for us to do to even get to that point. I know the man of God always talks about us daydreaming. You could call it daydreaming, because I always knew we would get a home, but we weren't applying ourselves the way we should have been. We make good money, but we weren't handling it the best way. Look at the Lord just making me tell the truth.
Come on.
God is hilarious. I said I was not about to be. No, for real, though. We weren't. Thank God for Lachelle. Lachelle, thank you for your patience with us, because she never let us feel that way. She would take us to go view homes all the time, and this has been like a 3-year process. And honestly, I'm a firm believer in timing, because I don't think we were mature enough back then to even handle a home.
Go ahead, Trey. Yeah.
So originally, when we were looking, we were in no condition to be approved. I got to tell this story because it's hilarious. We would apply, and I'd be like, Lord, you're going to get behind us. You're going to get behind us, Lord. We trust you. We know that you can work a miracle, Lord. Like all that, the bad, payments not being paid on time, like all that was just going to disappear, But faith without works is dead. God cannot get behind dysfunction. So
that's right.
So that's just truth.
Faith
so of course we
works.
did not get exactly.
Yeah.
So we did not get approved, of course. But that's okay. So originally when we were looking, we didn't get approved. I have notes, you guys, because I don't want to get off track. Of course, we were turned down, and discouragement started to set in. And like Ken said, the waves of life does not stop, even when you're trying to do something like get a home. So, of course, I lost my job the year we moved into an apartment, and we picked the apartment we did because I wanted a mortgage payment, in a sense, and I wanted safety. But so it's a really nice apartment, but I was like, I want to get used to making payments this large, because we weren't making payments that large before. So discouragement started to set in when we would try to make steps forward and get turned down. Like, we applied to a lot of different banks, you guys. We have never been told, like, okay, you guys, all you got to do is this, and we can approve you. It was always like, y'all ain't ready. Y'all, maybe in a year, we need to see some positive payments. It just was never, it didn't look like we would ever be able to build a house. But I'm that person in my family that's always encouraging people. I feel like it's crazy. Like, I'm like, let's build. I'm the one that with all the energy and the enthusiasm to everybody build. But we just could not get past the applying phase. Like, we just could not get past it. So when my brother got approved, it like did something to me. Because I was the one like getting them to come out and look at model homes and all that stuff. So I'm like, why is it just not happening for us? Well, I know why, but we're faithful. We remain faithful in our giving and all that. And I'm like, God, you got to get behind us. We don't know what we're doing. We're new to this. Like, we didn't really have a blueprint as to what to do to try to build a house. Like, this is new for us. So discouragement set in, and we just stopped taking it seriously. And of course, the man of God never stops saying it. Every time we see him, and he knows, you know what I mean. But
Right.
I honestly thank God for that, because he put that pressure on us. He'd be like, look across the street, you see that family looking at that house? Like, he would never let it go. Oh my gosh. So me and Kenny, we had to really sit down, like HG was talking about, and strategize.
Right.
We're like, we make good money. What's the problem? Lack of discipline. That's the problem. We do not have discipline with our money.
Right.
And I think, like Jay was saying with childhood, Ken's thing is, I didn't have growing up, so now that I have it, he just spends. Ken likes to spend the money as soon as he gets it, which is, one day we'll be able to do that, and I have to look in the account. That's not the date. That's not now. But, so we had to. We'll get there. I know it's coming. The Lord, this is a season. Okay. So we had to sit down and really strategize and game plan. And we're like, and every time we went up to the house and the models, they would be like, rates are increasing, y'all. Y'all really need to apply. Like, y'all need to really. And we knew we weren't in a position to apply. So we, based on what the lenders told us in the past, they were telling us to, they want to see at least 6 months of positive payments here, knock out these collections, and things that we really didn't pay attention to when we first got married, you guys. So you young kids really listen to what they're saying, because we did not take it seriously. And credit is really everything. Unless you just have cash, credit is everything. It's a way of life, and we did not take our credit seriously. So all those dings from just lack of discipline, it's like you got to dig yourself out of that hole. So we did that for a good 2 years. And like I said, we moved in this really nice apartment. So I'm like, it's actually cool. And believe it or not, I always wanted to live in an apartment, because I lived in a house. It's just a thing. I always lived in a home, and I always wanted to see what it felt like to live in a house. So be careful what you ask for.
Apartment, yeah.
Because I was like, I want to live in an apartment with my husband. Why would you want that? But God started to make it very uncomfortable in this apartment. And that's what made us start taking it seriously, because for the first year, it was like an easy coast. We had great neighbors. We were the first ones to live in this apartment. So we were like, we could take our time, But then God was like, he made it very uncomfortable. We had the neighbor from hell in the basement. She was banging on our ceiling and calling the cops on us, saying it smells like weed. We don't smoke weed, but I think it's because we, the only black ones in there. And then the neighbors upstairs, it was like the Brady Bunch moved up there. The loudest family ever. And our boys, you see how huge they are. They're just getting big. I'm just getting really uncomfortable. I'm ready to get out of here. They need space. They need a backyard. So for that whole year, me and Kenny, we really been taking it seriously. We were making our payments on time. And that's really big for us, y'all, because we were not doing that before. And we told God, like, if you increase my husband's income, we're going to handle it. He made a vow. He started to pay more on his tithes and offering than what he's supposed to, because that's just Kenny. Right. He's just very, all right. He's amazing, you guys. And, yeah, he is. So let's fast forward to earlier this year. They were like, hey, if you guys don't apply, it's going to be out of your price range. So it's going to be out of your price range. Let's just see where you're at. And it's crazy, because before I would have all this faith that God was going to approve us miraculously, but we put the work in, and I was most nervous. Like, I was afraid of being turned down again. And the lender that we applied to, she had good news. She was like, you only got to do this one thing and give it a month, and I can get you a pre-approval. So we did it. Credit takes time. And so a month went by, and our credit score jumped like 40 points. It was just crazy. Like, God's timing is everything. Yes. And she was able to approve us for $325,000 house. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord. That is all God, you guys, for real. It's crazy. I took all these notes and I ain't even looking at them. That was all God, you guys, because our house, it was right at, I can't even, what was it, Shell? What? Yeah, so we made it in the nick of time, you guys, for real. So thank God for that. So when God can get behind your efforts, you guys, that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, you know, we made mistakes, but you ain't got to stop there.
Right.
You just keep going forward. You know, write down your vision, write down your goals, speak over your finances, and God will help you. So we're out there now, y'all. We out there. They're saying that there's a possible increase that could be 15,000, but at this point, I'm just trusting God.
That's it.
That he'll get behind us. Yep. It's not done until we get the keys, so every day I'm like, Lord, and, you know, like my husband was saying, his bonus wasn't what we expected it to be, but I feel like God does that on purpose because he wants you to know that it ain't you, it's him.
That's right. That's right.
Look at me, y'all. But he wants you to know it's him and not you. So I just have to trust God. And another big thing in our marriage is, like, sometimes you're not going to always be up. And it can switch. And thank God, you have to have a man of God, and he's Holy Ghost filled, and that means something because when you don't have the faith, he can be that person to feed you and keep you on track. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
But my husband, and it's really hard right now because we can't do nothing. You can't do anything. You can't. Hell, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Hell's in the Bible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
See, your spirit jumped on me, Lana. Your spirit jumped on me.
It's in the Bible.
See, I got 7 minutes. Let me get.
Hell is in the Bible.
See, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. But you can't do nothing. They're watching you like a hawk, you guys. So, I mean, look at me, May. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got 6 minutes, y'all.
What Bishop said is that he said the people said.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't go to hell. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's true. You can't, we can't do anything, and I feel like we've never been under this amount of pressure ever. So on top of having pressure at work and the children, our kids, you know, that's hard. We have kids that are 9 months apart, so the frustration and everything that comes along with just everyday life on top of trying to do something you've never seen before, it gets overwhelming. So some days Ken is the one, you know, building me up and telling me God's got it, and then it could switch just like that, you know?
Yes.
And I do believe that these, like Jay was saying, money isn't everything, because I feel like these moments we'll remember when we do have everything, you know? So this is just part of the process. Exactly. And growth is uncomfortable, but I'm happy that I have a husband that stepped out with me, because it wouldn't have been to do it alone. That, you know what I mean? I'm just thankful that we're on one accord. And he works with me, no matter how much he may hate his job. It's not his end all, but he stays because he knows we have a goal. And we wouldn't have even been able to get that amount of approval on the house if Ken wasn't there for 2 years. So that was another thing I was going to say. When he switched to Lowe's, they needed to see 2 years with his bonus in order to incorporate it into our loan. So I'm just thankful that he didn't just quit, you know, when he's under pressure. And it means everything.
Beautiful.
Well, guys, let me just get to the end. Because I got 4 minutes. But like Ken, I do wake up and I'm not perfect. So some days I'm saying in the car, or some days I'm saying in front of my computer at work. But I read Psalms 118, 24 and 25. Well, you don't have to go. You don't have to go there. Maybe if you don't
I
want to.
can.
Okay.
I can. So I'm 118?
118, 24, and 25.
18. Uh-oh. Do you want it from the NIV or just
It doesn't matter. King James Version is what I read.
King James?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 24 and 25, Psalms 18, 24.
118.
What? That's what I thought. And be glad. Okay.
So I read this every morning because I know that God, He can work miraculous. Yes, we can work. I can work overtime. That's what I do. My husband will Uber, but I'm praying that God just does something miraculous for us, you know. And you have to encourage yourself because you can't always depend on other people. And I feel like God is isolating me, and He's making me really feel this because of one day I'm going to be able to have that testimony that I passed this test. So I read that every morning. I also read Jeremiah 29:11. Maybe you got that one?
I know. We know that one too.
You gonna
For
say
the
it?
Lord God is a sun and shield.
No,
No, I'm sorry. Jeremiah
For I know.
29. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
And I know our expected end is coming.
Lord.
I have faith in that. We remain faithful in our giving. Like Brian was saying, there's days we gave Bishop literally our last $300. And no, he's not going to give it back, or, you know. But we remain faithful, and I'm thankful that I have a husband that doesn't even try to play with that. Like, he's like, no, that goes first.
Come on,
I'm
girl.
like, well, we ain't got, we got $100 to work with. But I know that our expected end is going to come. So I read that. And honestly, guys, I just want you to know that God is going to get behind your efforts. God is going to get behind your faith. Faith without works is dead. So you can't expect God to just do it for you without putting in the work and applying.
Yes.
You know, we were here and hearing, you know, Bishop tell us to get a house, and we didn't apply ourselves. But when we started to apply ourselves, now we're in position to get a home, and I can't wait till that day we close, you guys.
Yes.
It's such a big deal. And it's going to happen, and it's crazy. I was just telling Ken how God will use you right when you're going through something.
Yes. Come on.
Because, why? If He can trust us now to do this, when we have the abundance, you know, that's easy. But when you're actually going through it and you're in the test, that's just 10 times harder. And my husband came here yesterday tired, and he delivered, so I had no excuse. So I'm just thankful. Thank you, guys. I love you guys, and you'll be invited to the housewarming.
Y'all come on, give it up for my baby. She delivered that. Talking about she's nervous. Her husband got me sending him videos and pictures, and I can listen by video. And what's she doing? What's she saying? I said, your wife up here cussing. That's what she doing. Y'all come on. I'm so glad she's so real. That took a lot out of her. Give it one more time for Trajan Williams. Trey. Oh, that's good. God is going to get behind your efforts, but faith without works is dead. And what she said, you could pray, Lord, I ain't paid nobody on time. I don't pay nobody, but just do it because you God. And God's like, I'm not doing that. You're going to have to work for it. And I thank God for the testimony that he is just not going to perform miracles. You know he's able to do it, but you ain't going to be able to handle it. They at a point now, I hear you, Lord. They're handling it. So thank God for that. Coming to the stage, y'all. She's used to being on the stage. Her husband is always on the stage. She don't have no problem for me calling her at the last minute and saying, daughter, you up. She is brilliant. She's beautiful. And she belongs to Davion. Give it up for Miss Brianna.
Now, why did y'all let my mother-in-law call me at 6 o'clock? Sick. Anyway, I won't be before you long. So, no, don't say the time. I don't want to know. She pretty much just told me to come up here and follow Davion. Now, I don't even remember what Davion said. That was a couple weeks ago. But I'm just going to tell my story and how it kind of moves into what Davion is doing now with money and what we're trying to achieve. So, my story kind of starts with around the time when I was like 19. At that time, I had known Davion. I knew, we knew we wanted to be married. We just didn't know how it was going to happen. We were only 19. We were in college, all that. So that had become known to my parents that I wanted to be married young, and they were not with it, y'all. They was not with it. And to the point where they didn't want to support me financially anymore. So at the time, they were paying for everything. I didn't pay a single bill. They paid my phone bill. They paid for the gas. When I had to go to work, they paid for my gas. They paid for my clothes. They paid for my school. They paid for everything. So then when I came to them, I want to do, this is something I'm going to do. And if you're not going to get behind it, then we just going to have to just fall out that way. And they pulled their money back. They pulled me out of school. They stopped paying for everything. And I went to live with my grandma. And at that time, it was crazy because I had never paid anything, y'all. Never paid nothing. Didn't have any conversations about money. Didn't know, what it took to save. Didn't know what it took to even pay bills. None of that. So I got to Arizona with my grandma. And I think I told this story before, but I got to Arizona. I'm thinking after everything I had went through with my parents, I'm thinking I can just, rest, somebody gonna pay my phone. I don't know. My granny gonna do something for me. She gonna pay something. She said, oh no, you got to get a job. I said, okay. And at the time before I had left my parents' house, I was working at the mall, a little minimum wage, part-time job, just making a little bit of change for when I go back to school. So I didn't know that I needed to get a real job. And at that point, I was in college, but I had left school, so I ain't got no degree. All I got is a high school diploma. And I'm just okay, well, let me go to Forever 21. Who? Forever 21, they were paying $8 an hour. I went to Forever 21, got a little part-time job. I was okay, I'm doing it. I'm making a little money. And then them bills came. And at the time, the bills I was paying, I had a $500 loan that I had to pay because I wasn't in school anymore. $500. I had to pay my phone bill. My phone bill was about $100 at the time. I had to pay rent. Granny was not letting me stay there for free. So I had to pay rent. My rent, I had to split it between, some of my family members. So I had to pay $317 for rent. And then I had to pay one of the bills. She had me paying the water bill. That was $200 a month. And then I had to, she wasn't just going to cook for the house for free. I had to give her money for groceries. I didn't have a car. I had to give her gas money, even though I worked right down the street. It got to the point where I had to start walking to work, y'all, because I was I ain't got it, Granny, I ain't got it. But all of that, I had all of that on me, and I was working this little part-time job. So I said, you know what? I got to get a real job. And I was dreading it. I was like, no, Granny, because I'm going back to school. I'm going to get back. I'm not working no full. I had to go work a full-time job. So I started working at a call center. And they were paying at the time, like, I think $13 an hour. And then it eventually, they let me know, if you want to work swing shifts, you can make an extra $2. So I was like, yeah, what's up? We going to work swing shifts. That was the most terrible decision I could have ever made. I was working from 7 to 12. Then I would go home and then come back and work from 3 to 8. It was terrible. But I was getting money, though. So I was glad I was able to pay my bills. And it would be times that I would pay the bills and I would come out with nothing. Like, it was no money left, but I was like, at least I could pay my bills. That's all I wanted to do. Pay the bills. But then it got to a point where I was at that job, hated it. I mean, I think I told this too. I was coming in at 7:30, strolling in with my chips, with my juice, putting everybody on hold for 5-10 minutes. Like, hold on, I'm going to come back. To the point where my manager called me in. My manager called me in like, we see you've been having your customers on hold. I was like, ma'am, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah. But I realized I was starting to get discouraged because I was there making this money. I wasn't really doing anything. I just felt kind of trapped. So then I started to shift my mindset and said, okay, I'm making my money. I'm making the bills, but what do I want to do? Do I want to get back to Berkeley? Do I want to maybe go to school for something else? So I started to ask myself, where you can still go where you want to go, even though you don't have, what you thought you had in your parents. So I was like, okay, let me go back to Berkeley. I'm going to try. I don't know how I'm going to get that money, but I'm going to try to go back to Berkeley. So then I started to, I didn't have, my granny was not the best at saving money. Nobody in my family really was. So I didn't have her to go to say, hey, how do I save money to potentially try to go back to school? I didn't have anybody to ask, but I had this money that I was making, and I knew that there was ways that I could cut my costs, like my phone bill, stuff like that. I got to Boost Mobile because I ain't had no money, but that's fine, Boost Mobile was cool. But so what I did was I went on Pinterest. I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I was like, let me check on Pinterest and see if they have any like little savings plans that maybe I can follow. So I went on Pinterest, typed up savings plans, and a bunch of stuff came up. Like, it would be by the week, by the month, whatever. So I was just looking through them, and I came across one that I liked. It was you would pay yourself every week. And at this time, I wasn't at a church or anything like that, so I wasn't tithing or anything, Lord forgive me, wasn't tithing or wasn't doing anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this template. It was a savings per week. And it would say, if you make this much, if you make between these numbers, try to save this much per week. And by week, it would increase. So I said, okay, let me try. Let me try to use this little template. I wrote it out according to my money, what I was making and how much I was spending and how many expenses I had and things like that. And I taped it up on my wall, got a big old poster board, wrote down how much I wanted to save, what I wanted to use it for. And then I wrote down the plan. And every time I made a payment to myself, I would cross it off just to try to see if I can make it to my goal. So I did. I didn't make it to my goal, but I eventually saved like $2,600. And I was proud. I was like, okay, like I might be getting something. $2,600. Then boom, my computer broke, y'all. My computer broke. It was a MacBook. Boom. As soon as I saved the money, something came up. The computer broke. That was $600 for me to repair. But I had it. So I was like, okay, $600. Then I needed an emergency root canal. That was $2,300. So I'm back in the hole already just off that. So I said, you know what? I want to make sure I'm still able to save. So I'm going to try to do a payment plan. I did that. So I was still able to save and pay on my root canal. Because what was most important to me at that time, since nobody was really helping me, was to save money so that if I did want to move out, I would have that money. Or at the time, I wanted to get a car and try to get back to school. So I was trying to save that money still, making my payments on everything that I needed to. And then I decided to go back to school because I said, okay, if I'm trying to get to Berkeley, I'm trying to get back to Berkeley, let me make it in small steps. Maybe I can go to a community college and get a little bit of those credits done. So when I go back to Berkeley, I don't got to pay as much money. So then I did that for myself. I went back to school, back to community college, did a couple of college credits, and I had to pay tuition, y'all. It was like $1,000 for one class because I wasn't from the state. So I did that, got my grades, got my A's, got out of the class, saved my money. And then eventually I was able to find a co-signer for my loan back to Berkeley, and I was able to go back. So all of that work, you know, like Trey was saying, God can get behind your effort. At first I was just like, I'm going to get back. I don't know how, but God going to work it out, you know. But then I started working toward it, and he was able to get behind that. So when I got to school, nobody was helping me in school. I had to use all the money I had saved for the flight out there to buy everything for my dorm. Nobody was doing that for me. I had to buy all my books by myself, you know, buy used books. I would buy books from Davion. He would pay the full price for his books one semester and then let me use it the next semester since I was behind him. I had to work it out, y'all, but I ain't have a job when I got back to school. And the funny thing about that is I was so broke when I got back to college, and it felt like I was moving backwards because I was like, man, I was making my payments. Now I'm behind on everything. I ain't got no money. And it's crazy because before my parents pulled me out of school, I had an audition with this band. We used to do like wedding bands around Boston, and you would get paid to perform at weddings. I auditioned back in 2016, and they told me, no, you know, we're not going to go in your direction. Like, you did great, but I'm sorry, no. And I was like, dang. But then when I got back in 2018, the same dude called me and was like, hey, I remember you from 2016. Like, you think you want to come audition for that? I was like, yeah, I ain't got no job. I ain't got no money. Yeah. So I got in there and I auditioned and I got in the band. I was able to get in, and that was $400 per gig. So I was like, woo, we was making big money. And it eventually turned into they needed a drummer. So then Davion was able to come into it, and he was like, oh, we getting married soon? Like, oh, this is perfect. We making money? Yeah. Then, and at the time, well, I'm not going to get to that, but at the time, you know, once we started making money, me and Davion were kind of, once we got married, kind of on a split seas. Like, we was on a 50-50 thing because all of that stuff that I had went through with my parents and people like taking the money from me, I was like, oh, ain't nobody ever going to do that again. So even if he's my husband, I'm still going to make sure I have me a little cushion. I'm still going to pay 50-50 because he ain't going to be able to tell me to get out and take off. Like, I was really on that trip. Yeah. Really on that trip. Like, I was like, no, ain't nobody ever going to take that from me again. Yeah, I hear you, girl. So when we were married and before we had Q, he would pay half the rent. I would pay half the rent. And that was fine for us. When we would buy furniture, he would pay half, I would pay half. And between us, we had like 5 jobs. So it was fine. You know, we ain't have no Q. We didn't have nothing to spend the money on. So then the pandemic hit. And at the same time the pandemic hit, Lord Jesus, I was pregnant. It was, oh man, all of that happened at the same time. All the money was gone. The GB, we couldn't gig no more. Didn't have no money. Now we have a baby coming. And this was when Davion decided to get into stocks. And at the time, you know, we still had a little bit of cushion from what we had saved of our individual money. And he would just take his money and put it in the stock market, you know, and be like, hey, like, I'm thinking of buying Sprint. I would be like, honey, I'm pregnant. I don't care. You do what you want to do. I don't care. Because at the time I'm thinking like, oh, he's just taking the money from his account. Like, I can't really say nothing about it anyway. But I would see him consistently researching this stuff, and it got to the point where every morning he would set an alarm. Every morning that man was up looking at the stock market, and I'd be like, what is you doing? Like, what is that? Like, what's going on? He would tell me every day, like, my Sprint stock went down. It went down. What is this? You know, what is it? It's going down. And then the next day, oh, it's going up. We going. I'm like, I would just be like, because I didn't understand it. You know, I wasn't researching it like he was, but all I would be like, oh, that's dope. You know, like, oh, we got $10. Okay, you made $10, Mark. Okay. And I would be like, okay, so when you gonna cash it out? Like, when we could get the money so I could go spend the money. But he would tell me like, no, you know, the point of the stock market, or the point of the money is that you put it in there and you don't touch it so it can grow. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought we was trying to get some more money, but okay. So he had to teach me that, and I still don't know as much as he knows about it at all. But in a way, I think that has helped us because, and I'll get to that, but once we got here and we had Q, then I became a stay-at-home mom. And that was really hard for me because, like I said, I was like, I'm going to have my own job, my own account, my own money just to make sure that I stay independent just in case. But then having to be in a position where Davion was getting promoted at Apple and they were requiring more of him to pay him more and do stuff like that. And I had to be like, okay, like I really have to submit to what my husband is trying to do for us and really be like, okay, I got to get over the stuff that happened.
That's it, babe. That's it, babe. Move forward. Yes, Lord. Thank you, God.
And it was hard.
Yes, yeah. Right.
Because of what happened to me.
Yes, yeah.
But I had to trust him and trust the God in him.
Yes.
To know that he wouldn't do that to me.
Right.
And every day I would pray like, God, like I just want to understand this situation because it was hard for me. I want to understand like what is going on with my husband. Like I want to understand his mind. I want to understand why I feel like when I'm at home with my son, like I feel like I should be working. Like I don't know what to do with myself. And me and him had a talk one night and I don't even remember like what got into it, but I had been praying then like I just really want, because it felt like to me we weren't on one accord. Like I was happy for him and I was proud of what he was doing, but I wanted to be able to make money for myself because of what happened. And we had to talk about it and he let me know like, you don't have to be afraid to let me take care of you.
Woo, my God. Hallelujah.
It was so hard, and it's still hard. It was so hard. And it's still really, really hard. But even now, like, I've become more comfortable in it and just seeing what he's done and what he's done for Q and what he's done for us to advance us. I can fully trust that, I can fully trust him and I can fully trust the God in him and where he's taken us. And not that I didn't trust him before, but I was getting in the way, So now it's still hard, but now I'm figuring out a new relationship with money. So it's not so much I have to work so hard and I have to do all this to make this money so we can be okay. It's like I can give that to him and he'll take it happily. Now I'm finding ways to help that. So like he wants to save money. Okay, well, I need to find some other meals to cook so we don't got to eat out all the time. Or, something like that. Or maybe I got to cut down. Or maybe I got to go to the thrift store instead of going to the mall and getting clothes. Or maybe I can hold down on getting the new Vans, the New Balances. Maybe I can just ride these old crusty Vans out for another year, which is fine with me. But now I think my relationship, and right now, I don't deal with the money as closely as he does. It gives him great joy and great pride to do that. So I let him do it. Now, I ain't dumb, I know what I'm doing. I can help him out, with the math and things like that. But I let him do that because he takes pride in it. And I take pride in him taking pride in it. So we let that go. Now I'm just trying to learn how to be a wife, Lord Jesus, how to be a better mother, taking my son and doing things and just finding ways that I can support where he's trying to take us as a family. That's not so, let me put some money in too, because that's not an option for us right now. But when it becomes one, I'm going to be there. But I'm just thankful to God for where he's brought me, because my relationship with money was it was terrible in my eyes because I was doing it out of fear. and I was making money because I didn't want that to happen to me anymore. But now I can let that go. I have a man that is going to take care of me, regardless. So I can just be happy. I can just be happy. All I got to do is support him. Be there when he needs to hear, when he needs an ear to lean on, a shoulder to lean on, an ear to hear him talk, to support him, make him dinner. If it's going to make him feel better to have tacos tonight, well, I'll make some tacos. That's my role now. So that's really all I got to say about money.
I'm a fire Vanna Mae. Y'all, 4 times she'd have been fired. Y'all have no idea what that did to me as a mother to hear a female say, I just got to let him take care of me. And not just Bree, but Trajan, to know that my sons, because what they're saying, I did not have the benefit, and I'm listening to them like I know they're not lying, but those are my sons. They didn't see their mom get taken care of the way they are taking care of their wives. You cannot underestimate the power of being in the sanctuary and having the saints. I didn't do that on my own. He watched men. He heard men take care of their wives and be glad to take care of her. He wasn't surrounded by men who were like, dang, I got to go home and take care of Lisa, or dang, Danielle got to eat this week. They were proud husbands, and that produced a proud husband. So Bree, be glad that you have a husband who's prideful. And did you hear what she says? My pride is supporting my husband's pride and taking care of me. That's a whole nother level. That's my role. It falls in line with what Danielle says. It's not about the money that gives me value. I've learned to value and pride in what my husband is doing for us. And she said something that I never heard, but I'm like, your relationship with money will define how you make it. And y'all know I work 10 jobs, and part of the reason is because when my mom died, I felt so alone, and I was frantic, like, if I need something extra, who's going to be there? So I've always had to have that cushion and make sure that the boys was okay. I was going through my second divorce, and it's like, no, you're going to be okay. You don't have a Davion to take care of you, but God is taking care of you. You're just doing that because of how you see it. And so thank God for the testimonies of how we have looked at money and how we've gotten around it. Y'all give it up one more time for that Breonna Bailey. That thing that Davion taking care of, that's Q, Mom. Trust me, Q ain't missing no meals, and so it's a blessing. I'm telling you, y'all. Now we got to top this thing off now, and there is no greater way to top this series off than with the one and only. There is nobody on earth, all of earth, than the one that's about to come to the stage right now. I need y'all to get y'all notebooks out. I need y'all to sharpen y'all pencils. Make sure your pen has enough ink in it, because this thing is about to show y'all some stuff how to she about to shut it all down. Y'all give it up for HG's wife, y'all. That's our Lily, Lisa Mills.
Listen, that's too much pressure. That's way too much pressure, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I thought this was easy because I was gonna piggyback off my babe.
Go for it.
But they done told the story. I really could just sit down. I mean, how much time I got? 5 minutes? Like, I don't need that much time. So I'm gonna start. So y'all know I got to talk about Boo Boo.
Right.
So that's my baby, y'all right there, y'all know. But Maylee, I'm going to start with my scripture first, because otherwise I'm going to forget to do it, and then y'all going to be like, she ain't even saved, she didn't get no scripture and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start with mine. Ephesians 5:25 through 33, maybe all that, but.
Ephesians 5:25 through 33.
Yeah.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
That scripture, y'all, that's my husband. Before I get into my husband, Dre, and I know Candace ain't here, so I'm gonna say that to you. You're phenomenal. You are an amazing man. You are an amazing husband, and you. And I wanted to say that because I know Candace couldn't be here, but I just wanted to say that on behalf of her. No, but I just wanted to say that you're a phenomenal man. You came in late, but you all that. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
That's right. You missed the beat. Right.
But this one right here.
Come on, girl.
Let's talk about this man right here.
Your mind.
So, I think about this all the time because people always say, man, y'all been together all this time. How do you stay with somebody all that time and they don't, he ain't never cheated on you, he ain't never this. And you know what I tell people? I said, listen, it ain't got nothing to do with me, okay? Because this is just my famous line. But I say, if Halle Berry and Beyonce could get cheated on, I don't stand a chance. So it ain't my looks, okay?
Yes, it is.
That is just how I feel about that. But it all comes down. I mean, because I understand that there's not enough beauty in the world. I heard Bishop one time say that, eventually, they get used to your beauty. It don't mean you ain't still fine, but they ain't looking at you every day like they used to when we was in 9th grade. Anyway, but his commitment first is to God. Like, right. First and foremost, that's his right. Commitment is to God. And it has to be, and you really want that, because if his commitment is not to God, there's no telling what he will do or anybody in here will do, you know, because it's that conviction within them. You know, he loves me, but love is not, love just doesn't carry a marriage. Like, it doesn't matter how much a person loves you today. If they don't have no conviction, they'll do anything. All right. And so you always do, and that's my biggest thing. I love that my husband is a man of God. Like, he is a man of God down to his toenails, y'all. Yes, Lord. and I love that. I love that about him, because he'll get up and he's always, I said this last time, he always gonna pray first. He's always going. That is the first thing. If I get over on his side, he ain't there. I'm like, oh, he up praying, and you know, and I forget that he's praying. I fell back to sleep. I'm in his side, and when he come get back in the bed, he's like, honey, move. Like, I'm like, I thought you was gone. I didn't know. But he is such a man of God, and to still be with him, like, we met in 9th grade, okay, at Nathan Hill. And we was just the best of friends. And we kind of tried to date off and on, and, you know, it didn't really work. But we have been, like, eventually we got it together, but we have literally been just together. Married to be 34 this year, but probably about 40 years. Wow. Just together. Beautiful. And still, when he comes home, like, it's like a kid. Like, you know, the garage going like, and he's like, oh, honey, I don't feel like doing all that playing. I'm tired. Like, you know, go on somewhere. But I still, like, my heart just skip a beat when, you know, when he comes home. He's just, listen. I mean, oh, sorry. There you go. He's so funny. He's so fun. I get on his last nerve. And sometimes I do it on purpose. He was like, you doing that on purpose, babe? I'm like, no, really, I got to ask her. You doing that on purpose? But we have been together so long. But to even be together this long and still feel like that, to me, is a blessing. Because I see a lot of couples that haven't even been together half as long, and they really just can't stand each other or whatever. And I mean, and we have our problems now. Now, listen, there'll be some days y'all be like, is that Keith Lisa? Yes, that's still us, because we can go at it. And don't nobody live with us either. Oh man, yeah, we can get it popping. But that's my baby, y'all. That's my heart. I love that man. And it is so funny when you were saying how you have to show that unconditional love. You have to show that love not only to him, but to your kids. They have to see that. And I have this little 6-year-old grandson that just, you know, he just asks way too many questions, okay? So he was over the other day, and Keith was like, honey, but take him in the house. He asked too many questions. Take him in the house. So he in there with me, and he loves to snuggle. He's all snuggled up with me. And then he looked at me. He's like, do you and honey snuggle? I'm like, dude, you're 6. And I was like, what? You're 6. He was like, do you and honey snuggle? And I was like, yeah, we snuggle. He was like, I thought only young people did that. I'm like, I was like, okay, you know, that one right there is, he's something else. Like, he is. But when Danielle was saying that, I hurried up and wrote that down. Yeah. Because they know, like, all my kids be like, they'll call me that. They'll be like, Mom, what you doing? I'm talking to Dad. They'd be like, why? Like, y'all see each other all day. Why are you always talking to Dad? Why are you always talking? Like, all my kids do that. And I'm like, I'll call you right back. Dad's calling. Honey's calling. Boo's calling. And they like, dang, that's all y'all do. We talk on the phone all day. Like, when I walk in work, everybody's like, 7 in the morning, they was like, hi, Lisa. Tell Keith I said hi. Because we just be on the phone so much. So when we mad at each other, and I'll be like, shoot, right? Please, call me, please. And then finally, you know, I usually win. He'll usually call me But anyway, but it's so hard to make it through a day when we mad at each other. He done made me mad and stuff. But I try not to hardly do that, because one thing that I do know, like when I hear the garage door go up, it is a blessing when because we out on the interstate driving back and forth. Right. It is a blessing. You never know what day is going to be the last day. Yeah. People ask me all the time. They say, why do you take so many pictures? And my favorite saying is, one day it's going to be the last picture. And so when I look at my pictures, and I don't know if it's morbid, but I do look at my pictures like, man, that's going to be a good picture. Like, when I die, y'all better go through my phone. I got the best pics in there, But I think about that all of the time, because we take everything for granted. We get so comfortable in our kids coming home on time. We get comfortable eating a meal and not choking. Like, all of those things are miracles. When that garage door opens, I be so happy when my babe come home. But now this is my week to work from home. To work in the office, which I don't like it. I'm like, babe, this is my week. I got to work 3 days in. And he was like, okay, well, I got to work every day in. So calm down. You'll be all right. But anyway, I just have to say that about him. He's so phenomenal. He's so funny. Like that's my baby, y'all. I love that boy, and I can't believe I met him in 9th grade math class. He even wrote a song about it. Like, dang, boy, you was. But anyway, that is my heart. And something Brian said last night, he was talking about when him and Danielle had that time, and that's what I was going to say to you, Trey and Bree. These memories, trust me, this intimate time when you and Kenny can't do nothing because y'all saving money, man, make the most of that. Have fun. Have so much fun with that, because that time is going to fly. Enjoy those. Make memories in that apartment, because that time is going to fly. Like, when my big old kids be calling me mom, I'll be like, boy, who is you calling mom? Like, you is huge. I'm not your mama. But that time, it flies. Make memories doing that. At home, have fun, do whatever you got to do. Color job, I know you and Davion, y'all be doing dumb stuff. But do it. Have fun, because it flies. Before you know it, those boys are going to be in high school, and you are going to regret that. So,
That's right.
But I thought about yeah. Because I was going through baby pictures of my kids this morning, sending them pictures, and they was like, why are you sending all these baby pictures? I'm like, because my boys be trying to act like I didn't dress them cute. I'm finna make a whole collage on because it's a huge difference how I was dressing y'all when y'all started dressing yourself. Y'all was cute. Y'all couldn't wait to put on them 3X T-shirts, looking a ridiculous mess, posed up in a school picture with your hat on sideways. No, I'm going to post my pictures. I'm going to see, because y'all was cute when I was dressing y'all. But, right. And they be like, Mom, you had us looking stupid. No, you had you looking stupid. Okay? I didn't do that. But I thought about something Brian said last night. He was saying when y'all was driving in the car and how y'all got to spend that time together. And those are me and Keith's best times. Yeah. I got to get better because I don't drive. I'm sorry. Babe, I'm going to get better. I got convicted when he said, I got convicted when Brian said Danielle drove all to let him sleep 2 hours. I bet my babe was like, not that one. But, but I thought about that, how he was saying that, that time together, y'all got to be on the road and talk and all that. And it made me think of this memory. And I had never heard this song. And my babe can sing too, y'all. And so we was driving. We was just driving on the interstate. And I woke up and this song by Gerald Levert was playing, Baby, Hold On to Me. Have you heard that song?
Yeah.
That's the jam, ain't it? Man, my babe was singing, and I hadn't heard the song, and I was asleep. And I woke up to that. I was like, boy, you better sing, boy. And he was just like, baby, hold on to me. You see, I'm a special kind. Boy, you better sing. And I hadn't ever heard that song, but he was just singing it, and he didn't even know that I woke up, and I was just listening to him sing that song, and I was like, I'll never forget that. So it made me think about that when Brian said that last night. And let me see. Oh, we're going to talk about this room. Because I don't, Bishop just be dragging it with that room. I'm like, the next time I get the mic, I'm going to clarify that room. So we did. Keith touched on it a little last night, but he was even saying the room. I'm like, honey, y'all going to chill with that room stuff. So he said, well, you talk about it tomorrow. You get to talk. Okay. So, yes, we did move in with my father-in-law because he was sick, and we did move out of our house to move in there and take care of him. And, you know, a lot of people thought, like, why are y'all doing it? But we know it was God. At that time that we moved in there, like, everybody got sick. Daddy got sick. Keith's mom, well, we moved in there because she was sick. But my dad, it was a moment that we was taking care of my dad, my mom, and Keith's dad all at the same time because his mom had passed away. And so when we moved in there, it was cool. Like, and Keith was that husband. He was like, you are my wife. You are not my dad's wife. You're not going to clean his room. You're not going to cook his dinner. You're not going to make his bed. You're not going to do his laundry. I'm going to do that because that is what Keith's mom did for his dad. She had him so spoiled. And so Keith did that. And even when we moved, when we realized it was time for us to go, we did have to. And I mean, we lived with him for 5 years. So we pretty much was ready to go. I was like, but he would make us so mad sometimes. Keith be like, we're going to look at some apartments. I'm like, no. When we move, we're going to go buy a house. So it wasn't the room. We did have the whole house, but I got to say that. But we would just be so irritated with him because we could be just sitting here talking like this, and then all of a sudden he'll just start an argument. It's like, how do we go from laughing to screaming? So we would just stay in the room. So that's where the room came from. And I made the mistake of telling Bishop that one day, and he just ran with that thing. But when we did get ready to move, like when we went to our guy, we knew we was ready to go to our guy. And so he was like, okay, give me all your stuff. Come in here, bring this and that. And so when we got there, he was like, do this. And I was like, oh, well, those things are already done. And he was like, well, just, it was maybe like one more thing that we had to do. And he was like, okay, y'all, we went in there October something, maybe the 15th or something like that. And he was like, okay, y'all be in your house by Thanksgiving. And we literally moved in our house November 19th because we had everything really done. Because we were so determined to move. Now, I did not, like Keith's dad had made me so mad. Because there is really an ugly side to me that I don't really like. You think, honey? But I was so angry with him, and he knew he made me mad. Because he kind of crossed the line, and I was like, you really crossing the line. But I got to respect you, because I got to be here. But I was so angry at him that it was just like, good morning. Did you eat? And that was it. You okay? And I just would go in the room. But he knew he was wrong. But I told Keith, and his dad was like, Lee, can we talk today, Lee? Lee, can we talk? I'm like, I did not ever, and I never had that conversation with him. We kept it like that, and I moved. We have not had it to this day because I was so angry that I couldn't have it. And I know that side of me would have just been like ridiculous. So I told, and Keith was like, well, babe, why won't you talk to him? I said, honey, I can't do it because it's not going to be nice. I'm not moving out like that. We just keep it like this. We cool. Keith's dad has always treated me like I was his own daughter. Always. Until we moved there for the year. I mean, he still did, but when you live with somebody, it be some different stuff, boy. You be like, you know what, you really doing too much, But he has always loved me like I was his own daughter. Like, he was really the only one that had faith that me and Keith's marriage would last. Everybody else was like, I'm going to give him 6 months. I don't know why, but they did. But I don't know, 34 years later, that's a long 6 months, But his dad always he loved me. He loved me so much, he used to make his wife and Keith's sister mad. They was like, ugh, so all you talk about is Lisa, you know. But we was just so close. And he told me this story because Keith's mom used to get mad because Keith wasn't home. And they thought he was at my house for me. But he wasn't. He was there with my brothers. And Keith's mom would be like, go get Keith. Go get him. Bring him. He need to come home. So one day he came, and I don't know why he coming over there. And I answered the door. I was like, hi. And then he was like, is Keith here? I said, yeah, he's here. He's in the basement. He was like, okay, he good. And he told me, he said, I went home. I told Mama, I see why he's standing over there. Don't ask me to go over there and get that boy. I ain't going over there to get that boy. I know what he going over there for. I'm going to leave him right there with her. But it wasn't that he was there for me, but that is a story. Everybody thought that me and Keith was dating all that time, and we really wasn't. We were really just really good friends. But once we moved out, we are back to where we was. Like I just went out to breakfast with him last week, you know. Super, super cool. But when we moved, yeah, he cried. He cried. He came to the house. I said, honey, go get your dad. We can't just pack up and move and he don't know where we going. We just like, all right, then we out. But I said, go get him and bring him over. And he stood in that room and he cried. He said, I don't like it, but I understand, you know. And now he comes over and eats breakfast with us. But one thing he says, because he's a single man again now, but he got his little friends, whatever. But when he told me, he said, something about when I come to y'all house, I can't go nowhere but home. He don't go wherever he go, he was like, I don't know what it is. When I come here, I can only go home. And we be like, yeah. And so, and that's special because he does feel like it is a special place. And it really is. It really is. It is. It's a whole blessing how we got that house. Even when I called Lachelle that day, I could text Lachelle, there's a house. She right back. Where's it at? I'm sending her stuff. But this day, she was in a meeting for 5 hours. I was like, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, honey, Lachelle hasn't responded back yet. Honey, the house it's been on the market for 5 hours, but Lachelle, I was like, somebody's gonna get it like Lachelle. And then Lachelle called. I was in a meeting. I was like, okay, Lachelle, there's this house. I was thinking, okay, can you go look at it? And she got us in that house the same night.
Yes.
But I really wanted a master bathroom, so I was like, nope. And Keith was like, honey, come on, think this thing through, babe. And so I was like, okay, and we went and signed the paperwork and everything that night, and yeah, the rest is history. So, yeah, it was beautiful. It's definitely a blessing. Yes. About what? Oh, the bidding war. Yes, the bidding war. Because it was like, was it one or two other people? Just one? Oh, it was, yeah. And Lachelle was like, you want to go up? You want to go up? I go, honey, we're going up. And so we was like, yeah. We're like, yeah, we going up. Let's go. Let's roll with it, you know. And she was like, they took your offer. We was like, hi, we moving. Deuces. So, but I mean, we have a lot of fun in that big old house. I'm telling you, like we do the most, but we have a lot of fun in there. My grandkids, especially baby Ryan, he loves coming over there. And he's just like, can I go over Honey and Pooh's? He calls me Pooh. And she called me one day, what do y'all be doing over there? What do y'all be doing? Why does he always want to come over there? I said, nothing. We don't do it. She said, I know y'all ain't doing over there. He act like he going to Disney World or something when he come over there. But he just loves coming to him and Yaya. And Yaya will literally call Honey and say, honey, can you come pick me up and take me to Grandmommy's house? Like it ain't his house. And keep it like that's my house. Like everything, that's Grandmommy's house. That Grandmommy car? You driving Grandmommy car, honey? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that was one thing. And then the last thing, that girl is bad too. She's something else. I might have to bring her to church Sunday, so I might be in the nursery with y'all because she off the chain. She's off the chain. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was Linda wanted me to talk about clothes. Why? Yeah. Oh, you don't have to be outside your budget. Yes. What? Don't be over there talking about me. Listen, I love clothes, but I don't, it's not easy for me to walk in the store and just pay a whole lot of money for something. Unless they only got one in my size. If they got a bunch of them, I'm going to wait. But I'm like, I will have a mind fight at home like, dang, that was so stupid. I should have just bought it, So I'm just not in a hurry to spend a lot of money on stuff like that. But I love to mix and match. I love color. I just love color. I don't know, but I just do. And it's so cheap to look good. And I know people say, well, Lisa, let's go shopping. But I don't have any money. How much you got? How much money you got? You got $20? Let's go. Let's go. Because because of cute blouse, change your whole outfit with the right jeans. A denim jacket will do wonders. I love denim jackets. Turtlenecks. Darnetta. Listen, you can put on some pumps and some jeans, dude. It'll change your life. And listen, a turtleneck, I love turtlenecks. Darnetta cracking up because I'll be like, Darnetta, don't stretch that turtleneck out. I can't stand my turtleneck to be all flopping and laying down. I don't do all that. Fix it. And me and the store clerk, I will dude, don't do that. Don't pull my thing off the hanger like that. Don't do that. I don't like that. And my son was with me. He was like, Mom, you really just went off on that guy behind it. Yeah, don't stretch my neck out. True. Long, low hanger. You all pulling it up. No, don't do that. But it is really so inexpensive to look cute. It really, really is. You can look so cute on a budget. And I can literally lay in the bed and put an outfit together in my head. What I'm going to wear tomorrow? Let me see. Dang. Because Keith would be asking me on Sunday night or Saturday night, you know what you wearing tomorrow? I'll be like, let me. But I can literally put an outfit together in my head. I just can. And I will sometimes get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and be like, no, that ain't going to work. COVID done messed that up. That ain't going to fit. But I can, it is all about mixing and matching. I love buying stuff that you can mix and match. Jackets, denim jackets, blazers, all of that stuff is in. A head wrap, it's so much that you can do. And you can just change an outfit. Listen, y'all, when I wore my red dress, oh my goodness, that was my favorite outfit this year. Is that stupid to say? That was my favorite outfit for the year. That was just so dumb. Keith be like, why do you love clothes like that? We're going to go walk around the mall, honey, for exercise. Okay? We just go walk around the mall for exercise. And I'm like, oh, yeah, shoot, let's walk. I'm like, and then here you go. Look at you. You can't do it. It's just crack calling your name. He is and I'll be like, babe, I just want to run in here just real quick. I just real fast. Can I don't know, honey, we walk in for exercise. I'm like, babe, please, just please. And he's like, but my red dress, man, and I'm going to tell you what inspired that red dress. Tisha gave me a purse. That red dress is probably, I don't even know, maybe 3 years old. And it's so cute, but I only paid $25 at this boutique. Right. And then so Tisha came over one day and she was like, I got your gift. I was like, what is it? She was like, this purse. Now, y'all, I'm on a 15-minute break and Darnetta and Tisha is upstairs. I only got 15 minutes, y'all. And Tisha was like, look at this purse. I was like, what am I going to wear with this purse? My mind was, I'm like, oh, Tisha. I ran back in the room. This dress? What about these shoes? Man, I wore that. I didn't even probably go home till about 6 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going somewhere. Going somewhere else today. And everywhere I went, everybody was like, oh my gosh. I love, even this older white man, he was like, you look, I was like, thank you. Thank you. And the purse was free. The dress is cheap, but it's just so bad. Yes. And the shoes, I may have paid a little more for the shoes, but that outfit came together off of a purse. So you'll be surprised at how you can mix and match and just have fun. It's just all about, I look at it like this, and this is me and Darnella's conversation, like your body is pretty much just this blank canvas. And you get to dress it however you want for that day. You get to, if you want to wear color, if you want to, like, it's just like painting a picture. And that is how I look at clothes, because I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I know people just think I do, and they think I'm a shopaholic, but I'm really not. What? Me and Bree went shopping, and Bree was like, Auntie, like, why you got to look at everything in the store? Like, why you got to look at everything in the store? I'm like, well, because I'm like, oh, that's cute. Did you see that? Oh, that's cute. Like, oh, did you see this? Did you see? And she's like, Auntie, let's go. Let's go. But because I like, that's how you find the hidden gems. You do. You can't just walk in there and just like look like, nah, you got to get in there. And my honey, he'd be like, there you go. But that is how you find the good stuff. And, you know, and every time I find the good stuff, then somebody else will be like, well, you was shopping. I'm like, no, I found it. Listen, this was hidden. I found it. Remember that day that lady took my dress? We walked out of the store. I was like, I didn't get my dress. My dress isn't in my bag. And I was like, I ran back in the store and it was gone. And I was walking all around that store looking for one dress. But it was only like, it was cheap. Like, it was so cheap. And I was like, did you guys see it? I thought I put it up here. And the lady was like, no. And the lady had picked it up. And she heard me. And she was like, I was looking like a lost puppy. Like, it's so cute. I really want that dress. And she was like, is this the dress you're looking for? And I was like, yeah, but that's okay. You can just keep it. And she was like, no. I'm like, no, it's fine. Just keep it. She like, girl, I don't see you running around this store for 20 minutes. Take this dress. But yeah, it was what? But that was so funny. But yeah, so you can look good on a budget. You can look good on a budget. You'd be surprised what you think people are wearing. I've seen ladies on Facebook who have like those, they go to the thrift store, and this lady literally goes to the thrift store, picks out the best things, and then sells them. And she be holding up numbers, and people be buying that stuff that she got at the thrift store. And in my mind, I'll be thinking, did she even wash that stuff? You know what I'm saying? And they just buying it. But that is my spiel on clothes, house, hubby, and oh, yes. What is your question? Shop on a bargain. So she said, where are some good places to shop on a bargain? Name brand clothing. I love name brand clothing. I got May Lee hooked on name brand. Name brand clothing is just what it's called. It is a name brand. It's name brand items, but it's just super cheap. So you can find some really, really cute, like some bad clothes there, super cheap, like super cheap. I like Marshalls. I like Ross, because, they're not going to have like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not a fan of being twins and triplets. I don't like that. I don't care if you have it, but we ain't going to both wear it at the same time to church. I'm not walking in here like that if I'm going back home. You cute, but we ain't finna be. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but I don't. But those probably are the best. And then I do like shopping online. I shop online a lot, but I always buy one thing first and see how it comes. And, then that's how I learn my favorite. Me and Michelle talked about it. That's how I learn my favorite online stores. Because, yeah, you can be thinking you getting the 14 and you getting the 4T. Right. So, but yes. What? Yeah. And it'd be tiny. And I'd be so mad. Or it can be extra big. But I think that those are, Oh, yeah, I did want to say this about my babe, and I still can't find it, but he's so sweet. Y'all know y'all sick of hearing me talking about this boy. But he nominated me for this award, and I didn't even know it. And it was so funny because he don't never get on Google. Is it Google that has or Gmail? And he was like, babe, what's your Gmail? I'm like, why? Why are you in Gmail? You don't ever use Gmail. Don't worry about it. Just tell me what it is, And I'm like, what is he doing in Gmail? I thought you was trying to order something. That's what I really thought. You was trying to surprise me with a gift. But so then when Shaquita called me and she was like, you've been nominated, your husband. I was like, oh, that's what my baby was doing on that Gmail. But I haven't been able to find what he said, and he won't tell me. I'm like, what did you say, babe? Don't worry about it. But I want to know. I want to know what he said. Do you have it? Don't worry about it. But anyway, oh, okay, I can wait. But anyway, guys, I'm done. I hope that I covered everything.
You did.
Good job, girl. Okay, we're going to have altar call and prayer. Great job, ladies. Give it up for the ladies. Y'all did excellent. Phenomenal testimonies. Babe, love you. Thank you. I'm scanning the room, seeing if anybody's, it looks like everybody's baptized members. Pastor Clutch, can you pray for us, sir? Let's give it up one more time for the ladies, y'all. Great wives, great mothers, great sisters of God, women of God. Y'all did a phenomenal job. Thanks for sharing y'all stories. Really. Y'all rock. Pastor Clutch, can you pray for us, please, sir?
Precious Lord, Father, and Savior in heaven, we thank you for these great women of God. For Janielle reminding us it's all about R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yes, sir.
For Trey reminding us that God can't get behind any kind of dysfunction. For Bree reminding us of the importance of saving and allowing your priest to be a priest. And for Lisa reminding us the most important thing, make sure you marry a man of God.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
And Lord, I thank you for each and every one of them. And especially my daughter, Trey.
Yes, Lord.
She used to ask me a lot of questions. She's really grown. I had to say a special prayer for her husband last night. That your variance, your savings will grow and expand. I believe it. What do you believe? Bless every great woman standing up there right now and every great man that taught last night. And bless them. Like Lisa said, you never know when your spouse's last day is. I had to leave for a minute, Lisa. Cherish each other. Trust. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Awesome.